Yo guys, welcome to the video. So what a crazy wildcard week it was. This week we roll on to divisional week and we have some very exciting matchups. Guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up, and let's get straight into it. So who would have thought going into week 2 of the playoffs that CJ Stroud, Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield would have been the 3 informed quarterbacks. Here we are then with the first matchup. Houston Texans coming off that win against the Browns, travelling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. So you don't need to tell me what performance it was by CJ Stroud at the weekend against the Browns, getting the job done, getting his first playoff win in his rookie season and being very impressive with the numbers he put up. So let's look back at the matchup between these two teams right at the start of the season when the Ravens came out 25-9 on top. 15 of the points were put up in the third quarter, and that's where they ultimately got the game won. But interestingly, the Texans actually led in yardage and led in plays 72-58, which is a very interesting statistic. They actually went for it 4 times as well on 4th down and only converted it once. In that matchup, Dameon Pierce was the leading rusher for the Houston Texans, and Devin Singletary actually only had 7 carries for 15 yards. What a difference now this Ravens defense faces in CJ Stroud and an informed Devin Singletary. The Ravens actually split evenly 24 carries between Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins and Justice Hill. The Ravens are obviously going to come out and try and establish the running game, and don't be surprised to see a lot of Lamar Jackson rushing as well. That being said, it's been very impressive what Lamar's done against the 49ers and Dolphins, putting up some big numbers through the air and a lot of TDs too. In my opinion here, the only issue the Ravens could face if they go down early in this game, if they go down a score or two, I think there could be trouble for them. That being said, if I'm the Houston Texans, I'm definitely taking the ball on the first drive if I get that opportunity. Lamar is obviously very fancied now in the MVP race, and now it's his time to go out and show that he can get it done. He's obviously got a very mixed record, 1-3 in the playoffs so far. This is a big game for him, and the Ravens are strong favourites to win this game. I'm going to have to side with the Ravens to take this one. I think it's going to be very, very close, possibly Justin Tucker late in the 4th close, but the Ravens will ultimately get the job done and get that home championship game next week. Next up, a mouth-watering matchup between the Packers and the 49ers. Brock Purdy against Jordan Love. Who would have thought that this could be a classic playoff matchup? Packers on a roll. What performance it was last week, going into Dallas and outperforming the undefeated all-season Dallas Cowboys at home. Aaron Jones is running like a madman at the moment. Jordan Love is arguably a top 3, top 5 quarterback in the league right now. And they've got some very exciting wide receivers with loads of depth in the receiver position. I think this will be a very heavy offensive game. Expect a shootout. I'm really close to picking the Packers in this game. But again, I think the 49ers will just find a way to get this game, get out on top, and again host an NFC Championship game next week. First matchup on Sunday sees Baker Mayfield take the Buccaneers into Detroit. This is potentially the least appealing of the matchups this week, but at the end of the day, one of these teams is going to be in the championship game. If it is the Lions, Jared Goff has the opportunity to take the Lions to their first Super Bowl, or could Baker Mayfield lead the Buccaneers back into the Super Bowl 3 years after Tom Brady took them there? I do like the Lions in most areas of this game, and I do favour them quite heavily in this matchup. The Baker Mayfield story is incredible. Who doesn't love an underdog? And there's certainly plenty of players in this roster that have the experience in the playoffs and that Super Bowl run to help the younger guys out in this game. Of course, Goff is no stranger to deep playoffs runs too, taking the Rams to the Super Bowl a few years back. I just really like this offense. He's got loads of weapons around him, and at the moment, arguably Montgomery and Gibbs as the best running back combo in the league right now. The Lions get this game, they get the win, they go into a championship game with a chance to go into their maiden Super Bowl. And then the final matchup of the weekend, we've got the blockbuster matchup, Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen. Who could forget the last matchup in the playoffs between these two, with the Chiefs getting that heartbreaking overtime win over Josh Allen. Home field advantage will be massive for the Bills in this one, and arguably Josh Allen is looking like the best quarterback in the league right now. I was going to say this could be potentially a bit of a defensive matchup, but with Mahomes and Allen, there's always going to be points there. Look to see both of these rushing quite a bit as well. Josh Allen had that monster TD run in wildcard week. Patrick Mahomes is certainly no slouch in the running game either, and I think both of these could get out of the pocket and get a lot of rushing yards between them too. In terms of the Chiefs offense, obviously Travis Kelce's had a bit of a hot and cold season. He hasn't looked quite on it. I did say earlier in the season that Rashee Rice would have to step up, and boy, he has stepped up, and he is the number 1 receiver there for Patrick Mahomes. Pacheco wasn't in the game the last time these two match up. That could have a big difference in the backfield. But there's something about the Bills at the moment, despite it always been tough to go against Mahomes and read in the playoffs. The Chiefs aren't the same team from the last couple of years. I think the Bills get the job done and they roll into the Ravens for the championship game. Guys, let me know your thoughts below. I know I'm going with all the home teams this week with the predictions. I would love to see some upsets, some road teams getting through, but this week for me it's the home teams and what matchups that would leave us with in the championship game next week. Guys, please like the video, give it a share and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.